I love musicals. From a young age, I was fortunate enough to see plenty of them, whether it was on Broadway or at a local community theater. There's something just so captivating about them, but it wasn't until I saw School of Rock that I think we've been lied to all this time. Hello, I'm Julia from Nostalgia Studios, the show where we talk about your favorite things from your childhood. Today we're going to talk about what is a musical. A question I have been aching for an answer for all of 3 weeks. Let me explain. It all started when I experienced School of Rock on Broadway. It was awesome. I enjoyed it so much that afterward I watched the movie it was based on, starring Jack Black. Now, the movie was good, but I had one tiny complaint. It was not a musical. I mean, there was music, but all the music in it was when the characters were rocking, like Teacher's Pet. And if you wanna be a teacher's pet. There were no songs going into the minds of characters or like replacing a dialogue with singing. This cannot be considered a musical. Now, some of you are probably saying, yeah, I thought that too when I watched it. First of all, thank you. And second of all, the rest of this video is targeted at the people that don't agree, but you're welcome to stick around. Now, some of you are probably saying, Julia, it is a movie with music in it. It's a musical. Now, congratulations, the dictionary agrees with you. It states that musicals are a play or movie in which singing and dancing play an essential part. But since it's a movie with singing and dancing playing a pretty big part, you think it'd be a musical, right? But it just can't be. If the definition is true, that means something like The Jungle Book, both the original and the live action, would not be considered a musical. Notice, the definition says singing and dancing must play an essential part. Now, I mean, there are plenty of singing and dancing in the Jungle Book movies, but they don't play an essential part to the story, especially the live action. They just don't play an essential part, so it can't be a musical. The bare necessities. I mean, some people might say Jungle Book's not a musical, but you cannot deny that this next one is a musical. Dear Evan Hansen might have music in it and a lot of singing, but dancing does not play an essential part. The definition says singing and dancing must play an essential part. And sure, the singing is a pretty essential part, but the dancing is not an essential part of Dear Evan Hansen. However, Dear Evan Hansen is definitely listed as a musical, so the definition must be wrong. Waving through a window. Also, another one similar to School of Rock is Coco. Though there's lots of music in Coco, all the music is either sung by Miguel or Ernesto or any of the musicians in the movie. But of course, according to the definition, it is a musical, though it is not a musical. Remember me. Next, I went to the question, are the characters actually singing in their world? The answer is no. I figured this out because with some musicals, there are books that are based on the play. A great example is the Dear Evan Hansen book by Val Emick, which shows us into Evan's head about what he was thinking when the whole thing took place. This book, which is Evan telling the story, has no singing. It is dialogue or just a character's thoughts. For example, in Sincerely Me, in this book, the emails are typed, not sung, and Evan and Jared are just arguing over what to write and not singing it. The only reason they are sung is for entertainment purposes or to give us information that we wouldn't have known in the first place. Sincerely Me. So if this is true, does that mean in all musicals, when characters are singing, they're not actually singing in their world? I think yes. I mean, I didn't look through all of them and check, but in most musicals, the characters don't get any acknowledgement of their singing. They also don't get looked at weird when they're randomly bursting into song like they would in the real world. And that makes a lot of sense. It's just a storytelling method. They're not actually singing their thoughts and feelings. I say that, but there is one movie that you probably don't expect that has way too many acknowledgments that they are actually singing. This is the 2014 Annie movie. In Maybe, Pepper is annoyed by her friends singing. In Hard Knock Life, Miss Hannigan says, less singing, more cleaning. In Opportunity, everyone's blown away by Annie's amazing voice. In Easy Street, Miss Hannigan says, you're singing to me? And lastly, after I Don't Need Anything But You, a guy watching him on the TV says, well, if he keeps singing like that, he'd never have won for mayor. I mean, if there were one or two, I might have said, oh, it was a joke, a nod to previous versions of the story. But there are so many. They must actually be singing. But then there are songs like Tomorrow where Annie is just singing while casually walking down the street. I mean, she can't be singing there, right? Are you singing? Like, nobody's staring at the 10-year-old girl singing her heart out in the middle of crowded New York City streets? Does this mean that this takes place in a society where breaking into song is normal? I mean, it would certainly make sense with all the other references. But that is besides the point. I still believe that in most musicals, there are songs in it that aren't actually being sung. Now back to School of Rock. The play is without a doubt a musical. Besides including classic Broadway tunes like If Only You Would Listen and Where Did the Rock Go, it also incorporates rock and roll music. I mean, the name, insinuates it's, rock and roll, unless you thought it was a school for, stones and pebbles and stuff. And of course musicals can incorporate different genres of music, as, for example, Hamilton does with hip-hop, jazz, R&B, pretty much everything. Hamilton has it all. Alexander Hamilton. So it isn't the lack of Broadway-style songs which makes me think School of Rock the movie isn't a musical. It's the lack of the, I'm not actually singing, but you hear it in song form for your entertainment or to find information that you wouldn't have known otherwise kind of songs. Now, to go back to our Are They Actually Singing question, if you were in the world of School of Pebbles the movie, which let me just say would be awesome, you would hear all the songs as they're being sung in the movie. I mean, there are some that play in the background while stuff is happening, but the characters don't actually sing them, so I'm not counting it. Basically, the singing and dancing isn't used in the movie to elevate the story, because all the music is part of the story. And I don't mean that the music can't have to do with the story, because pretty much every musical has music that has to do with the plot. It would be a bit weird if there was a musical that the music didn't revolve around the plot. What I mean is that all the songs can't really be happening in the story. That's what gives musicals that charm to them. The production incorporates music where we wouldn't have it in the real world. That's what makes musicals so magical and on the verge of unrealistic at times. So, are we all agreed? Is the movie School of Stones not a musical? If you don't agree with me, make sure to leave your reasons why down below. And if you do agree with me, we have some dictionaries to be changing. So the new Nostalgia Studios definition of the word musical is as follows. A musical, a noun, a play or movie that replaces dialogue or a character's thoughts with singing and or dancing. So that's all I've got for you today, guys. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with your family and friends. Also, comment down below what is your favorite musical. Mine's either Hamilton or Wicked. See you guys next time. Bye. Stick it to the man.